వాషింగ్టన్ డీసీలో వెండర్షిప్ ఇంక్ సంస్థ సభ్యులు జార్జియా స్టేట్ అఫీషియల్స్ తో మీటింగ్ కు హాజరయ్యారు. అయితే ఈ మీటింగ్ లో పలు రకాల బిజినెస్ ఐడియాస్ తో పాటు ఉద్యోగ అవకాశాలు, ఆర్థిక అంశాలపై చర్చించినట్టు వారు తెలిపారు.
జార్జియా గవర్నమెంట్ తోటి డైరెక్ట్ వెండర్షిప్ ఇప్పుడు ఒక మీటింగ్ పెట్టి ఇన్ ఆర్డర్ టు మేక్ థింగ్స్ ఈజియర్ ఫర్ ద కంపెనీస్ అండ్ ఎస్పెషలీ ఇండియన్స్ యొక్క ఎంపవర్మెంట్ అండ్ డెవలప్మెంట్ ఎంతవరకు వెళ్ళింది ఇప్పుడు మనం తెలుసుకుందాం. హలో మిస్టర్ రే, హౌ ఆర్ యూ డూయింగ్?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Fantastic. Ray వచ్చేసి he's a director of client services for Soul Technologies. So let's get to know about their company and how is their relationship with Vendorship.
We have been working with Vendorship. I believe this is our second year, and they have been very successful working with us and helping us find federal opportunities and work on proposals and put together a winning strategy for our company. And we've just won a large award in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and we look forward to staying with them for a while, for sure.
How do you see success for Soul Technologies through Vendorship?
So they help us find the opportunities in federal government. That's one of our core areas that we focus on. Commercial as well, but FedGov is my area that I focus on. And they help us with the opportunities. They help us find primes that may be willing to sub with us. And we also have an approach where we work with agencies, and together we're building a strategy for success.
Fantastic. So ee vidhanga they are helping the companies to get opportunities directly with the federal government. And let's talk to the director of Vendorship, Mohan Garu. Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you.
How was your meeting with the state of Georgia, mainly through with Samantha, right? She was a director of legislative with
Yes.
Samantha Lucas. How was the meeting?
Oh, this is a great meeting we had actually. Giving the insight of what's happening on the ground, is something which the senators usually miss out, right? So we being the bridge between the industry and what the government does, we got a great perspective, shared, with the office, senator's office. So that is something which will help the small businesses as well as the government to understand what they are missing, right? And interestingly, we have Ray here from Soul Solutions. So for whom we not only do work in the federal space, but also in the state, local, county space. So the contract that they won, a $2.9 million contract, for the Dallas airport came from the state opportunities. So now having Ray, into Soul Solution is a great, I would say it's a really a great, inclusion because Ray comes from the federal experience and the background, right? So it is important that the clients understand when we are trying to coach them, we are trying to give them the knowledge. Most of them don't have this context, right? But what we feel comfortable with Ray is he understands what exactly needs to be done.
A rare but successful story. 20 years in defense and mainly serving the country, now serving in a political way. It's none other than the congressman of Georgia is here. Let's interact with him and ask him about his life journey and especially in the ways he's advocating the small businesses. We would like to know what are your motivating factors in terms of supporting the small scale businesses?
If you look at what America is raised on, what's made us successful, there's a few things. First one is affordable energy, less regulation, less taxation, allowing people to self-determine. And when you do that, you allow small businesses to become big businesses. And if we continue to look after what I think was said by Calvin Coolidge 100 years ago, which is one of my favorite lines in politics, which the business of America is business. And that starts with small business.
Let's now get to know about Vendorship from the founder and the CEO itself. Hi Nazira, how are you doing?
This is our 9th year anniversary. That's why we are here to come and speak with you about Vendorship. We have assisted or helped more than 400 businesses secure government contracting for more than $400 million contracts worth of contracts both in the federal and the local government as well. Secured more than 600 plus certifications and assisted in commercial contracting as well. And we have our clients here as well with success stories. 3 of our clients are here, and we have a 75% retention rate, and also 99% of proposal submission acceptance rate. So we would love for your support. We are a small business as well, but we are industry agnostic, so we can help any industries help navigate the complexities of government contracts. So that's who Vendorship is. We make government contracting easy.
Incredible amount of diversity. We have about 10,000 CEOs, which is almost inconceivable. That means it's not a lot of big businesses, it's a lot of small businesses. We're at the heart and soul of what made America great.
Mr. Ray, could you please give us some just about what kind of services you were getting as a good testimony?
So I'm Ray Thurman with Soul Technologies. I'm a client of Vendorship, and we're really concerned about kind of the future of small business. We want to make sure that we always have a seat at the table. I feel like some things have changed lately, and there aren't as many chairs at the table. We want to make sure that we always have a seat at the table. I think that one thing that we are an IT services company, and the reason why we partnered with Vendorship is because they have their eye on the ball in terms of the federal government and what's necessary to win these contracts. And we have the capabilities. We have worked in both state and local and commercial, and we're bringing those skills over to the FedGov side. And so we're really focused on federal government for the next 2 or 3 years to win some contracts and really just get the small business success story out there.
So you were one of their past client and about to be the re-client again as a future client. So could you please give us your experience here?
Congressman, my name is Bala. I am from South Brunswick in New Jersey, a fellow Republican though, and difficult to be there, of course. But that being said, Vendorship has been my supporter and my actually my extended team for last 3 years, and they helped me understand what the GSA is all about. They helped me understand how to do business with SLED. So I started over there, but we have a lot of challenges because even though they got us empaneled, to get the business from the government agencies is not easy because the big companies are always there. So we have to either work through them or with them or be left out. So support from people like you would be very welcome to us in terms of how small business can survive and thrive in government business.
If you look at the world's oldest and world's largest democracies, and you look at the future of the world, India will soon be the third largest economy in the world within the next 5 years. As they continue to increase at about 8% per year, and they have a similar constitution, similar outlook, they're not imperialistic. If we can work together synergistically, it could shape an era of peace for our generation and to our children that the world maybe has never seen. That relationship is extremely important. When I worked with the Indian Armed Services, when we were over there with as escort to Bill Clinton, some real pros. I mean, some people that flown thousands. There was one pilot who flew 10,000 hours, along with the not just in the Kashmir area, but up in the Arunachal region, which is very high altitude. Extremely hard to fly helicopters up there, but these guys were pros. And as the GDP of India grows, along with the investment in the military, they will be extremely important to world peace, peace through strength. And India and America together can do great things.
Recently, there was a portal which was opened as a India-USA coalition where the direct small businesses can give their services to the USA and vice versa. So in the same way, when there are some kind of problems which Mr. Srinivas or Mohan Garu is about to explain you when they're going to face for any kind of small scale business to flourish. So let's listen from them in a point of view, because he was talking about it took him 1 year to move forward just for one step.
For a 8A program with the SBA, that application has taken more than a year, not even touched. So we are hoping that it will come through someday. But people like you, if you can intervene or put a note on it, that would be really helpful.
First thing you do is reach out to your representative. The first thing you do is, that's why we're here, is to deal with bureaucracies, red tape, and to streamline that process when the bureaucracies are not reacting to the people. That's exactly our purpose. Matter of fact, it's maybe more important than our vote, quite frankly, because a lot of times our vote doesn't change anything. But constituent services, we can all do that.
So, Congressman, I just wanted to quickly also announce that 2 weeks ago, we announced Veni as our COO of the company. So the company is also huge about women empowerment and opening up spaces for women to be comfortable, to be standing independent and lead.
Congressman, thank you for giving us the audience. So we are basically, going to talk about the federal aspect here, because that's the challenge what we are facing in terms of the small businesses. I like the idea when you said the small businesses should become big businesses. So that is the vision that America has. So there are a lot of challenges, that has been faced by the industry. We try to, convey this message to the audience, but what happens is they don't get the real essence of small businesses. So this 23% that has been apportioned, as a statutory for the small businesses. So as is this being, exactly reaching out through the prime vendors, right? So, and there is this rule of two. So how are these being really utilized, by the prime vendors and reaches to the small businesses? So that is something which we would like the government to intervene and enhance those abilities, for the small businesses to take part.
And when you have an ask, you have a specific ask with a specific nature and a goal, not just to pass Congress, because Congress is not the hardest part, even though we have a very slim majority. And some things are very bipartisan, by the way. Small business, a lot of times, is bipartisan. But then it has to pass a Senate, which a lot of times doesn't vote on anything. I mean, everything has to be tucked back in. So you have to have an idea not only how to lobby Congress, but how to lobby the Senate. And then it has to get by the White House. The White House usually, if it can get past the Senate, it'll get past the White House unless it's a really bad idea. So have a plan. Have a master plan, both specifically and strategically. In other words, what needs to be in the bill and then how you're going to get it past both the House and the Senate.
Last but not least, Congressman Rich McCormick, thank you so much for the valuable time. And we are TV9. We are the top news channel amongst the Indian diaspora across all languages. Because in India, if you change the state, the language changes. So we are present in all languages, and it's a pleasure meeting you. And it's wonderful having an interaction with you through Vendorship.
It's my honor. It's great to work with you guys. Can't wait for a bright future and synergy together. Thank you.
So in a nutshell, what is the overview would like to give to our audience who is watching right now?
So the challenge for us, at Vendorship has been that we are supporting a lot of small businesses who are aspirant in the space of wanting to do federal business or state, local, county business. But what happens is they don't know how to get into those. 23% of small businesses, opportunities goes to small businesses, which a lot of companies don't know, right? And this gives us the opportunity to transfer those information, to the society that government is really wanting to do and support, because government feels that small businesses are the backbone, of the U.S. government. So the one good thing which I liked, when McCormick, the congressman, spoke was the government is looking small businesses to become big businesses. So that is the kind of aspiration and support the government itself is looking to do for small business. So that is something which we learned, from the horse's mouth itself.
Let's get to know what are the generic problems right now where the job market is facing. In what ways Vendorship is helping them? So let's interact with the main crew, which is nothing but the CEO, Nazira Dawood. Can you please give us in what ways we are trying to generate through directly working with the government? So what were the interactions? We got the chance to interact only with one congressman, but you met many. So what were the key interactions happening today?
So I think the main information that we want to give out, not just to the business community, but also the politicians out there, is, it's always known that you have to diversify your businesses. Many of the business that we interact are mostly getting their revenue through the commercial contracting, right? B2B business. But we want to let them know that the best way of diversification and sustainable revenue stream, growing your revenue stream, is through government contracting. And that's why and how and when Vendorship was established was 9 years ago, for the same reason that we can assist firms securing government contracts. And as they say, once a government contractor, always a government contractor.
Job market anangane consultancies through service based ga they search for jobs. But our consultancies ki state through ga jobs illa ravali ante through Vendorship. So ippudu ee Vendorship గవర్నమెంట్స్ తోటి వర్క్ చేస్తూ అంటే డిఫరెంట్ స్టేట్స్, సో వాళ్ళు ఏ విధంగా జాబ్ సెట్ అవుతూ ఎంతమందికి హెల్ప్ అవుతుందో ఈ విధంగా మనం తెలుసుకోబోతున్నాం. అండ్ లెట్స్ ఇంటరాక్ట్ విత్ మోని. Hi Moni, so what is your role in terms of contributing to the job market, and mainly especially in terms of through vendorship, how do you help?
We help the clients to customize the roadmap, what they're looking for, and channelize in the right way what should be the next step for them in government contracting. Whether it's proposal management, whether it is grant management, they should be looking out for compliance contracting, or they are just stuck with one certificate. So Vendorship is a one-stop shop for all your questions towards government contracting. That's how we are helping your impossible to possible.